Hello, my name is Juan Pablo Strack, and today with my mate Tiago Cornet, we are going to deliver our presentation about lack of clean water access in rural schools in northern Argentina and an humidity water collection and dust filtration technology to obtain clean water as a solution. Water access and the water is essential for health, hygiene, and well-being. And in the recent decades, the waste, the pollution of water have increased around the world due to the human impact. In this work, we focus the study of the problem of water access and water scarcity in Argentina, in the northern region of the country, and how it affects the education quality in rural schools.
It is a well-known fact that basic education is important to improve people's lives, as well as jobs and tertiary education opportunities. However, in rural areas, these objectives are the affected by the lack of water, the lack of water in schools. This issue is a central part of the United Nations 2030 and its 17 Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, to be achieved by 2030. Among the goals, there are two SDGs in relation to the lack of water access problem. First, SDG number 4, who's proposed to ensure education access for childhood and show states how important education is for children and show. Secondly, SDG number 6 aims to ensure the sustainable water management of water, which is connected with the use of devices or technologies that can bring clean water to communities that need it.
So as we say, we focus the study of the problem in northern Argentina, where there are many rural areas and many rural schools, and we have to study how the lack of water access affects the education in these areas. And this region is one of the most affected by lack of clean water access and by poverty, according to the poverty rates in our country.
The purpose of this paper is to inquire into the lack of water situation and how it affects students and teachers in Argentinian rural schools in the north of the country. Moreover, it aims to investigate we and how they collect water from unsafe sources, and to propose two alternatives to address the issue in order to reduce the school dropout rates and improve education qualities. In order to investigate about the lack of water situation in me confundí. In order to investigate about the lack of clean water access in rural schools in northern Argentina, and think to to find a solution to how sustainable water management devices and technologies. This paper will first describe the problem, explaining the situation of students and teachers in rural areas in relation to the lack of water access.
And then we are going to state how we would approach a problem, proposing a solution to the water scarcity problem by means of the freshwater ecosystem and the P&G Purifier Packets, which are methods for harvesting water and for purifying water. And then we are going to make a feasibility assessment where we are going to discuss the advantages and disadvantages of each proposed solution and to state the conditions to use each system in each situation. We hope this work helped to provide insight into this topic and to raise awareness about the problems in Argentina and how the problems should be solved and to address it. And finally, to understand the deficiencies in our country, in Argentina, more specifically in rural areas.
Before focusing on solutions to improve the water quality in rural schools, it is necessary to understand we, the student, have to use dirty water, and there is lack of water access in rural areas. There are persisting challenges connected with the use of the dirty water usage and lack of water access in rural areas, and the causes are very varied. However, the causes can be divided into three groups. First, geographical and logistical challenges. Rural schools are generally located in remote areas, far away from large cities, and it is very difficult to access basic services such as water. There are also challenges related to the transportation of water due to distance between rural areas and cities.
The second rural area challenge is connected with the limited financial resources and infrastructure limitations. For example, big cities have big treatment plants and big water grids, and the rural areas have not that big infrastructure. Meanwhile, in big cities, the water collection process is automatic. In most rural areas, the water collection is made by human effort. So the infrastructure in rural areas is poorer than in cities, and that's connected with the fact that big cities have higher financial resources than rural areas because of their large population. And here we can give an example about the situation of water access in rural schools. And in most rural schools, water is supplied by municipality only once a week by means of water delivery truck, as the one we can see in the picture on the right. So the municipality supply water by means of this truck only once a week, and then the water is stored in the water tank of the school. However, the water lasts only for the day. So when the school runs out of water, workers have to collect water from other sources than conventional ones. For example, well water. This is the non-common source more used in rural schools.
Third, alternative water sources and water contamination. As stated before, due to water scarcity and intermittent supply of clean water, uh, teachers in rural areas have to find alternative water sources. The most common alternative sources are the cisterns underground, which contain groundwater with high salt content. And this is a commonly reported situation in the rural north. In October 2022, UNICEF arrived in the Argentinian province of Salta in order to improve the water access in rural schools. And during this visit, the rural teachers talked about the water situation and explain it that they have to collect water in plastic bottles every morning before the lesson start to supply water to students. Water from the sources could be contaminated because the cisterns are outdoors, so the water can contain dirt, dead animals, and other kinds of waste. Unfortunately, sometimes this is the only water source in rural school, and it is not drinkable.
And we stated some problems about the water access. And the water scarcity affects the daily life of students, teachers, and other workers in rural schools. For example, the clean and drinkable water is important in the schools for cooking. In most rural schools, there are canteens here in Argentina where students, workers, and teachers can eat at the day. And in Argentina, especially in the poorest areas, children do not eat the four basis meal for the day. So the meal at school is one of the most important. So we can say that the water scarcity problem in rural schools affects the nutrition of children.
And hygiene is very important for a healthy life, and it is not generally ensured, and because of the lack of clean water and the lack of personal hygiene products. In rural areas, it is of utmost importance to avoid these issues because there are usually no hospitals nearby. When the student need medical assistance, they have to travel long distance, thus missing school days. As it was as stated before, there are several problems related to the lack of water services in rural areas and the lack of clean water access from sources other than conventional ones. It is very important to propose a solution in order to ensure school attendance and to improve education quality in rural school in northern Argentina.
So as Tiago said, there have to be solution deployed in rural areas um, to to ensure the quality of education and to ensure the water access in rural areas. Because of this, we propose solutions based on technologies one technology capable of harvesting water from our humidity. It is a freshwater ecosystem, and the P&G Purifier Packets to purify the water and to separate the dirty particles from the water, and after the filtering process, obtain clean and drinkable water. So in the market, there are several technologies available for both harvesting and filtering water. So we selected these two.
The freshwater ecosystem was created by the freshwater company and is made up of a recycled plastic box which contain a system capable of collecting water from humidity. And this appliance works in the same way as the natural water cycle. By rain is produced, recovering the water that is suspended in the air by condensation, collection, filtration, purification, and sterilization. Not only is the box made up of recycled materials, but the company also reuse electromechanical components as well. This device contains a water dispenser, wheels to move it, and it also works with electricity. It takes 24 hours to produce 5 to 28 liters in an average temperature condition, 28 degrees and 80% relative humidity. The freshwater ecosystem only works in a temperature range from 15 to 40 degrees with an air humidity range from 35 to 95%. Water production will be faster or slower according to climate conditions. This system is very useful to collect and provide clean water in rural schools. However, is that not has high storage capacity. It holds only 12 liters based on the number of students the school has. It probably will need several devices to ensure the necessary water production.
The second proposed method are the P&G Purifier Packets. That was developed by P&G company, and it is composed of a powdery material that is able to chemically react with water, separating the dirty particles from the water to obtain clean water. Here we can see pictures of the presentation of the packets of the company. And to obtain clean and drinkable water using this technology, first the content of one packet have to be poured into 10 liters of dirty water, and then the content the solution of the powdery material of P&G and the dirty water have to be stirred in order to mix the components, and then we have to wait till the particles settle at the bottom of the bucket, because the dirty particles will separate from the water and settle at the bottom. Then the water have to be filtered using clothes or fabrics, and finally the clean and drinkable water is obtained. We can see that these are only 5 steps, and then they are 5 easy and quick steps. This process have to be made in 13 minutes. Here we can see a video of P&G company where the content of one packet is poured into the bucket. The the solution is stirred, and here we can see the settle of particles at the bottom, and the clean the clean water is obtained in 13 minutes.
In this section, a feasibility assessment will be done over the proposed methods. The purpose is not to select only one method. It is to state the advantages and disadvantages of each and to determine their feasibility and implementation conditions.
So the implementation conditions determine the method to use in each school in each case. For example, we have to determine if the school has or not energy access to select which method is better to use. And the economic resources have to be analyzed in each case if if the if the school has or not good financial resources to afford one method to obtain water. And then the number of students determine which method is better to use in order to ensure the correct amount of water production.
Freshwater ecosystem principal advantage is that the system or the device is automatic, producing water by itself without human intervention. So workers and students will not have to consume energy for collecting water. The device can also filter and sterilize the collected water, which is useful in areas with air pollution, where where harvested water could be contaminated. Although these are great advantages for a system, it also has prominent disadvantages. First, the need for electric energy to operate, the fact that the device has to be connected to the electrical grid to work. Will be a problem in a school without electrical connection. Secondly, strict operation conditions are needed to produce 5 to 28 liters in 24 hours. The condition of 15 degrees with an air humidity 35%.
Those conditions are the worst for the region where we are studying, for the northern region.
Yes, average northern region conditions in winter are the worst to operate. The system. It is where the case the system only produces 5 liters of in 24 hours. Finally, if the device produces more than 12 liters of water, it could not to store them because it has only 12 liters of storage capability. Because of the slowness of water production at the low storage capacity, a school will need more than one device to ensure the water production, making it more expensive.
Now we we are going to discuss the, no, sorry.
The
We are
freshwater
going to
ecosystem.
situation to apply this system in rural schools.
The freshwater ecosystem could be improved in relation to the fact that it needs electric energy by installing a solar panel to power it. The implementation of a solar panel may allow the deployment of this device in a rural school without electrical connection.
And now we discuss the P&G Purifier Packets advantages and disadvantages. The first one advantage is that it is a fast way to obtain clean water from dirty water, and it cleans 10 liters with only one packet, and it is easy to teach how to use it. For example, students could use the system to clean water. And the disadvantages are connected with the fact that this technology is not autonomous. It does not produce water by itself as the freshwater ecosystem does. So this P&G system requires human effort for pouring, stirring, and filtering water. So the disadvantages is basically connected with the fact that the method does not produce clean water by itself. And we can base it on the advantages and the disadvantages stated, based on the situation of each rural school. We can recommend each system. First, the freshwater ecosystem would be recommended for a school with financial resources because, as Tiago said, according to the weather conditions and to the number of students, the school could need more than one device, making it more expensive. And it is also recommended for a school with electrical grid or solar panel access. And the P&G Purifier or without electrical grid access, and it is the best option for a school who use the well water.
Whatever choice is made, it is important to state that after deploying the solution in rural schools, there has to be training how to operate and maintain the systems. Also, it is important to ensure the participation of students and teachers in the design and implementation process of the system, because doing this they develop a sense of ownership over the system.
In conclusion, we can say that there are many problems in northern Argentina related with the lack of water access and with the scarcity of water, and that these problems affect the education quality and the day life of the students. So we also can say that the proposed solutions, the freshwater ecosystem and the P&G Purifier Packets, are not going to solve all the problem. These are good options to address the problem, but the problems will be solved only with high financial resources and infrastructure invest in rural areas of Argentina. So here we can finish our presentation, and thank you for watching.
Thank you, Tiago and Juan. You have done a very good job throughout the year. Very well done.
Thank you.